Yo, 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 tribe, what's good? IG. I'll let you guys all jump on. What's happening, everybody? Happy midweek Wednesday. Another powerful day. What's going on? I see you, Mahdi. What's up, Nadia? Ryan, what's up, what's up, what's up? Let's get our people on here. I got somebody really cool that's going to be joining us here in a minute. A good friend of mine, Ben Lee. He is an entrepreneur that I have a lot of respect for. I've known him for many, many years. He's a digital agency owner of a company called Bootstrap that I would visit out in Venice, Cali. He's built the agency for over 10 years. Just a really powerful individual that's worked with so many startups, just companies from literally from seed to scale to Series A, Series B, Series C, helping them build their apps, helping them with their marketing, just helping them with investing. We're going to just talk about a lot of different things. He's been building his brand. We're going to talk about the Federal Reserve and talk about the economy. We're going to talk about how you right now as an entrepreneur, how can you step into maybe becoming that entrepreneur that you've never been, or really what we this new concept of an indiepreneur. So I'm excited about that. All right, cool. So he's just joining in here. Let's see. What's good, Ben? Get it.
Cool.
Nice. Fire.
Gerard,
What's happening, Ben?
how we doing?
Pretty good, bro. I'm excited for us to just really just dive in, man, and I'm glad that we had opportunity to reconnect recently.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, bro. Just to kind of kick off, man, why don't you just tell the people a little bit about you and your journey? You've been building Bootstrap for about 10 years now, and now you've been branding yourself
Yeah.
and just starting to tell your story. But just give me a quick little update. Tell everybody kind of your experience, man, because it's pretty impressive.
Awesome. I've been building apps and technology for the last 10 years with Bootstrap. We've helped everyone from Tony Robbins to Snoop Dogg to now working with Seth Rogen to Chelsea Handler to Google to TikTok. Large, big, small, mid-market companies who need engineering, design, development talent. We're about 150 people on 3 countries. It's been amazing to see this company grow and just do a lot of really cool things with design and development and engineering. And I've been watching a lot of your progress and journey with branding and storytelling and content, and obviously I've been very inspired. And I've really used this COVID time as a kind of a personal renaissance of sorts to start telling my story.
Right.
Working in a design agency, you have to be the least important person, in terms of the presentation. You're the ghost guy. It's all about your client, especially with celebrities. You're not allowed to take credit. We oftentimes aren't even allowed to, say who we work with on the website.
Oh,
so
wow.
now I'm like, well, fuck, I want to tell my story.
Yeah. Yo, and it's dope because you work with, like you said, Tony Robbins, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
I remember that, man.
Yeah.
You've worked with some really cool companies, and now I just saw too that you're collaborating with TikTok, right? You've been working with TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. So with TikTok, we help them. Originally, we were brought in to help them understand how to do design sprints. Design sprints, a framework for building a new product. You can use it for content. You can do it for marketing. It's essentially breaking tasks into 5 or 7 day sprints. So we use that for all of our apps. Tony, when I met Tony in 2015, he gave us a CD, the DVD box, and said, go build me an app. And I go, what the hell do I do with this? It's 2015. I don't even have anyone who owns a DVD player. So we had to transcribe it, found someone on Craigslist who turned it into, online media content, and then built him his first app and built a whole ecosystem of technology products.
Yeah, fire, bro, fire. For all of you, man, it's a really great process. Coming from the startup world, understanding how to be able to work in sprints, what Brent's talking about is really powerful. I like to think of, especially if you want to become an entrepreneur, or you are an entrepreneur watching this, you're a CEO, you're a leader. I like to think of things as like a marathon of sprints, right? You're on this marathon playing the long term, but how can you, Ben talked about, break down your tasks into,
I don't know how you go about it. If it's like weekly, every like 5-7
Yeah.
days, or how do you go about it? Like, is it weekly or days?
So in software development, it's commonly a 1-week sprint or a 2-week sprint.
Okay.
It depends on the company. It depends on the type of app you're building. I like doing weekly sprints. I've adopted this methodology for my entire life, which means you start a planning meeting on a Monday, you do a review on a Friday. The visionary types like us, we're creative, we're all over the place, we got a lot of ideas. It puts us in a box, or a framework rather, where we have to at least stick to a plan for a week. We can't change courses on Wednesday. We can't call our producers or developers and say, hey, you know what? No, let's do this now. And it's like, no, Gerard, no, Ben. Like, you do that on Monday sprint planning call. I'm like, okay, cool. So it keeps everybody accountable to hitting goals on a weekly basis. It makes the scope smaller, so you're not going in a black box and working on a book or a software or whatever for 10 weeks.
It's like keeps you focused on like one goal, and like as
Correct.
a team, like you're as a collective, it's like we're gonna go and accomplish this one goal, and it may be like a huge project, right? Whatever that is, it's like writing a book or launching a podcast or launching a course or building an app. Whatever it is, it's like, you guys know, like, it's a huge project, right? And sometimes you can get overwhelmed by, what it's going to take to launch that successfully. So sprints is just breaking it down.
That's
from, like,
exactly
this massive project into these little micro projects that will complete the overall goal, and just focusing on that one thing at a time every single week. So yeah, powerful, man, powerful.
That's exactly right. And it's, apps are, most people don't know that building an app is like a Lego set. It's very modular. People get very intimidated. First-time founders are like, an app will take 6 months. It's like, no, but it shouldn't. Like, we can build, like you said, micro projects, or take small pieces of functionality and deliver in a week and keep repeating that cycle.
Right. And that's actually a better way of even validating the market. Because in startup, like, guys, for a lot of you, and again, like, you can really take a lot of what we've learned from building startups, and it totally can be used in like building your leadership brand right now, or being a consultant, being a coach. Because there's like a term called MVP, a minimum viable product, right? And the whole point of an MVP is to validate a proof of concept of your idea. So what he's talking about is when you do things in sprints, it gives you the opportunity to literally build a part of something, test the marketplace, get feedback, iterate on that feedback, and continue to then optimize what that product looks like long term. And it's a phenomenal way of going about anything. Like, I don't care what the project is. It's a phenomenal way of, like, really, because, like, for so many entrepreneurs, Ben, and you probably see this, right? I've dealt with this for myself. A lot of times we're our own worst enemy. We want the thing to be perfect before we release it. We want the idea, the plan, everything to be perfect. And we don't realize that it's not what we think. Like, we're the ones who can be the visionary in understanding what that gap of the market is. But it's like, you got to really find out what the customer really wants.
Exactly. There's an old saying that if your software doesn't have bugs on a release, then that's a big problem.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be putting out something that is supposed to be quick and dirty. So you're learning and iterating as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I feel you. So we got a quick question that just came in. I might as well, we'll take it real quick. But Ben, so what do you think? So Mr. Social Eat says, what have you learned because of COVID-19, and how will it change the way we do things moving forward?
Interesting. I didn't know you could do this, by the way. So I'm learning a lot today. I love it.
I saw usually we get like over 100. So like I saw like it's a little bit down. So I was like, you know what? Let me try playing with something. See if we can get more engagement.
I love it. Okay,
so I appreciate every one of you that are in here. Comment your questions and we'll answer them.
What have I learned because of COVID-19? Nobody's safe and nobody's an expert. I got into this business coming from 2008. Like Gerard, I went through a lot of challenges, like most people, through the global financial crisis. And I thought that my business would be a little bit more defendable in a downward economy or recession. No industry is really safe right now. Diamond markets are closed. Oil refineries are closed. It's affecting everybody, and it's something to pay attention to. As far as webinars and your favorite business leaders or experts or the people on TV, you know, all the crazy stuff with the stock market. Nobody knows. Like, these guys are making decisions in real time. They're crunching the data. They're looking at other references. So I think it's a time where people have to start also trusting your common sense, because I find that as a pretty, I consider myself a pretty intelligent person. I don't know where the information, what to believe, or where the inconsistencies lie. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. It's so difficult for a young person to understand how to just function with even the shelter in place orders. So trust your gut, you know, use your common sense, and don't think anything's for sure or you know, defendable in something like this. So it's humbling.
One of the things I like that we could jam on for a second here, Ben, that I love, you guys, he does like really cool videos on TikTok. We'll talk to you about the Federal Reserve, man. Talk to me about the economy. And I think a lot of people don't recognize like how rigged the system has been. And now we're really, I feel like everyone, like Americans especially, we're all starting to get a glimpse of how rigged the system has really been. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I pre-COVID, I started doing like financial tips. I was like, I kind of want to be the like Bill Nye science guy for like finance tips. And I didn't have like a funnel or teaching people stock strategies or anything like that. I have some experience in options trading, very amateur level, but I said I want to teach young people, especially on TikTok, what is the Federal Reserve? What is Treasury's role in all this? What is the World Bank's roles in all this? So I came up with a video that explained how do banks work. Most people don't know that when you put money in the bank, they actually lend the money out. So they don't actually keep the money. And that's, you know, fractional reserve lending. So I did a very simple video and I oversimplified it. So I got trolled a lot, but it did 5.5 million views. And I said, holy shit, like I'm onto something here. So I used that as my MVP. And then I built my whole strategy and narrative on TikTok. Okay, I want to be the econ finance guy. So today I dropped the video. It's doing pretty good so far. You know, explaining the dangers of printing all this money. There's no free money. We're going to be paying for it. Our kids will be paying for it.
What is it up to now? It's like over 5 trillion, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to stop. I think it's 5 or somewhere between 5 to 10 trillion. And you know, I don't know what the safe havens are. I don't know if it's cryptocurrency. I don't know if it's gold or silver. I don't really know.
Gold for sure. I love gold and silver.
It makes sense. I mean, it's one of those things where it's common sense. Gold feels like it should be a smart investment right now. But yeah, it's very crazy that we're not taught this in school. We're not taught what you know, the government or the Federal Reserve can do, and also what happens when you do this. 1920 Germany did this. After World War I, Reichmark, you know, basically to go buy a sausage in Germany, you needed a whole wheelbarrow of trillions of dollars. Like literally overnight this happened. And I think people don't know what that even means, hyperinflation. And I've been having fun just sort of teaching these concepts. So, you know, Yo Ben Lee on TikTok. I try to do it 3-4 times a week. And, you know, I love the feedback I'm getting so far.
So we got a question here from John. Ben, we'd love to hear your thoughts on non-dilutive funding options like Clearbank for e-com and app companies. Like, what are your thoughts on funding right now altogether? Just like the whole market in regards to venture capital and investors.
I'm familiar with non-dilutive funding that is available. I'm not familiar with Clearbank. I would have to think that they're most likely in this global pause like anyone else. In terms of the venture capital world, you know, we talked about this briefly as well. I think that's going to be a world that has a tremendous amount of challenges. I think the bigger players, the Greylocks, the Sequoias, the Andreessen Horowitz, I think they'll be okay. But it's the guys, the angels or people who've had portfolios or funds of like less than 100 million. I think they get wiped out. So I'm very concerned, obviously, because a big part of our book is startups, but also because I've been watching the startup ecosystem boom for the last 10, 12 years. And I think it's going to be a bit of a painful experience the next 6 months. You know, I think private equity is going to continue to fund a lot of deal flow. I think sovereign wealth funds. I think crowdfunding could even be a thing.
What do you think about Bitcoin?
I'm into venture studios. I'm sorry?
What are your thoughts on like Bitcoin and stuff like that?
Well, I think what we learned from all this is that not even cryptocurrency is safe. I mean, when the stock market crashed a couple of weeks ago, crypto was down 50%. There were so many, like the blockchain network was so backed up that you couldn't even liquidate your crypto because what they called the gas fees were so high to move it from one exchange to another. So I still like crypto. I'm not a crypto anarchist speculator guy. I have my coins on Ledger Nano. I don't even check daily. I think it's novel. I think it makes a lot of sense for blockchain purposes and, contactless technology that we're going to probably have to start implementing. But I'm not going to say it's a safe haven because
Copy that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I got some Bitcoin. I'm just like, whatever. It's like a gamble for me. Like I just have it just to have it. But I'm more of like, more gold, silver. I do invest into some stocks, and most importantly, man, I'm investing into Gerard Adams, bro. Building my leadership brand business and doubling down on what the business is around me. So I want to get into that. I want to get into like what your thoughts are on being an independent entrepreneur, being a freelancer, so to speak. What are the opportunities now for people that are on the sideline? But I wanted to ask one more question of my man, Farbstein. I love you, man. You're an awesome dude that's out here just always spreading hope and possibility. He's asking you quickly, like, what's the biggest blessing for you out of this pandemic so far, man?
I think it's invest in yourself.
Nice.
Now is the time to be selfish. And I mean that in the best possible way. Take care of your family, your friends, and your loved ones. But this is something that it can impact us, me, you, anyone today or tomorrow. So maintaining your strong mental health, nutrition, recovery, all that good stuff. And then for me, it's been that exact thing you said is like, how do I start using this as an opportunity to do the content I never had time for, do more podcasting, do more outreach, not feeling limited to not, network building only in physical environments or conferences. Hop on live chats with you. I can do podcasts.
Yeah.
So that's been the silver lining. I've wanted to do this stuff for years. And, you've known some of the struggles with it where it's hard to run a full-time business and do this stuff. And now it's just like, I got the fire and I'm super excited to see where it goes even after quarantine.
Yeah, man. And it ultimately builds your business, right? When you start sharing your story, like it really does play right back into growing your business and giving you that fulfillment, bro, and new relationships. And then you can create a whole new business around you, which I'm sure you're going to do. Right now, you're just providing a lot of value, which is dope. What are your thoughts though, for people for someone who actually wants to become an independent entrepreneur, a freelancer, so to speak? Seth Godin talks a lot about this. Aubrey Marcus is talking a lot about this right now. Like, what are some steps someone can take right now to actually start taking control of their life through the power of entrepreneurship, freelancing?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot. For one, demand is still there for a lot of these marketplace apps, the Upwork.com, the Fiverr, I'm sure there's plenty more, freelance.com, teaching people how to set up their Zoom, doing screencast tutorials on remote work, creating content. I've never really done like one-on-one coaching before. I'm using this as an opportunity. Yeah. I set up a Clarity FM. I put conditions on that as long as you are a real business owner impacted by COVID-19, I'll give you free coaching. So I did a whole thing on Clarity, and I'm trying to blow that up. Now's the time to build your tribe of people who are going to remember you after this. Don't be afraid to give away free shit. And I'm just a big believer that the brands, both personal brands and the corporate brands, the ones who now know how to navigate all the PR and the communications and the challenges that all this is posing, they're going to do fine if they navigate it properly. And it's really not putting you, and you've seen the Mazda cheesy commercials where it's like, practice social distancing in a Mazda, just wash your hands. It's like, no, you got it wrong. And that's why you got 20,000, downvotes on YouTube. Like, it's not about you. So like, don't make it about you right now. So the Medium content, the LinkedIn, figuring out what you can do good at, I think that everybody can do something. Even if you're not a copywriter, I think you could even outsource to one, you know, and just sort of begin or bootstrap a creative services company.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, man, I think I love that. And I feel like even if you are not there yet, like now's the time to gain the skill. You know, like maybe now is the time for you to get that coach if you're not becoming one. Maybe now is the time for you to start reading more books, start diving into like the YouTube videos. Like I know for me, man, like even at my level, I'm still a student. Like I stayed up last night. I'm so excited right now that I've even stayed up till 1. Bro, I haven't done this. I was up till 1 in the morning last night watching Alan Watts videos and typing up a whole new curriculum around the art of storytelling, around leadership. Like I'm learning right now. I'm like all in at doing research and mastery and like, you know, so like guys, that's you. Like nobody on this call, I don't care who you are, should be thinking that you're there, you're all there yet. Like it's about, you know, being humble enough to know that you are still a student. Double down on learning right now. Double down on mastery right now. And then share, practice. Like even if you don't have the coaching business yet, if you're not consulting yet, if you don't have the core, you don't have your product yet, just do what Ben is saying. Like do it for free. Like just give people value. Just practice teaching, practice helping people.
I'm starting a book club. You know, I'm doing a lot of things. I'm trying to do online communities. Of course, the marketer in me is going, I'm building the list, you know, and I'll figure out how to do products and services later. But right now I'm building a space where people need some help and they need a community because isolation affects everybody differently. I'm actually very good and I'm in a really solid place. And this is in a weird way, I'm kind of like, this is my moment to shine, but I know there's a lot of people who, you know, suffer from mental health issues or manic or depression or anxiety. And this is
real right now.
This is a recipe for disaster for them. So if we can create online spaces for where they're learning and they're safe and they've got support, I think that we have to be figuring out how to do that.
Yeah, man. Let's dive in. Bro, I want to let's get real for a second. I want to talk a little bit about vulnerability, bro, because, you know, for someone like yourself, I can only imagine, right? Like you've been a CEO, you had a lot of pressure, you have a lot of employees, you had an agency. To make this jump into finally starting to be in the limelight, starting to share your story, to start being on camera, to start, you know, doing this stuff. Like I remember doing that 5 years ago. And I remember the first moment I even got asked to be on stage and start sharing how fucking, like, I was like, man, do I even know what the fuck I'm talking about? I'm like, is everything that happened to me like luck? Like, I don't even know. Is my story worthy? You know, people going to accept me because I'm a young Latino kid, you know, of color, but my slang, my accent, my look, you know, all of these things, man. Like what has been real for you? Like that, just being vulnerable for a moment, like what's been real for you of being like, that's been hard for you to get over. And like when you decided like, I got to start fucking showing up now and being on camera.
Well, I think everybody's going to go through, cycles of personal branding. And I feel like I have done that where, you know, you go through, is it ego? You know, I want to look good in front of the babes on Instagram. I want to go viral. I want to get free shit, blah, blah, blah.
You're coming if you relate, you know, be real. You know, you tried to do one post to try to get some
I think that's okay because that's sort of part of the process where you've learned and you realize, and that was the case with me where, okay, it's fun, but that doesn't mean anything. And I'm at the point now where I'm sure there's a lot of people I work with or currently work with or I've gone to school with who are kind of like, oh, dude, he's another like infomercial clown or whatever. And, you know, you kind of just learn to go whatever and you stick to what your beliefs are, and your beliefs are the things that our parents told us. Like my dad always used to teach me, and you and I had talked about this, it's like move in the shadows and it's always better to be behind the scenes. And I always took that so like, I was so careful and I was like, you're right. And then now I realized, but I'm limiting myself by doing that. And if I do own my voice and figure out how to make it more authentic, then my reach just goes a lot further. I could exponentially grow my pocketbook, my reach, my network, my audience, my fun, all levels go up. So I'm still new, you know, I'm still iterating on it, but I'm much more confident about it, you know, than where I was. And I think, you know, it requires, you know, this is something else we talk about. It requires you to have reached a certain level, like a video game where you've done shit, you know, like I've
Yeah.
built multiple companies, a 150
Right.
person company.
You worked
And
with Tony Robbins, Snoop Dogg, like you've made,
I,
you know, you've done it. Like exactly.
I feel like I have sort of personal brand. I think it glitched.
Well, you get to a point where you
Yeah.
realize, like,
I said, I feel like I have a right to.
you earned it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I feel you. And I don't, and guys, by the way, like that doesn't mean that you have to like earn it to start showing up. It's just, I can relate to Ben in the sense of I was, you know, I got to finally to a place where it's like, all right, you know, you realize like, okay, I actually have experience. Like I really have wisdom.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that was the thing I went through, but just for everyone that's watching right now, what I realized is like, that's been like your God-given gift since you were born, man. Like every challenge you've been through in your life, every hurdle,
Yeah.
every like thing that's like ripped you up, made you almost want to quit, or like been trauma, painful, hardship, like all of that is, you know, that story is one of one. Like God's put you through all of that. It's all been for you so that you can share it. And that's what matters most. Not how many awards you have, not how big your company was, not how many exits you have, not how much money you have, not how many followers you have, not how many likes you have. Like it's the fact of just having the courage to open up and share with people what you've been through in life, your experience, your perspective, your challenges.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think anybody who has the confidence should activate their brand and voice. I don't think I had it, you know, and I felt like I had to reach a certain level where I had that right, or I have experience where I could, you know, I feel like I've gotten my business degree or my business school OG degree, you know, where I know quite a bit of different departments and scaling a business that if somebody were to throw a question at me, I feel comfortable asking it, where maybe 3 years ago I didn't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's everybody's different, you know, and but it's a really cool thing that I think this is going to happen for a lot of people in the quarantine, where you're seeing all your friends live stream and you're seeing them become, you know, epidemiologists and reporters and journalists, and you know, everyone's an expert on something now. So
Yeah,
it's funny because it's like I got like 4 friends that like have reinvented themselves as like sports and news broadcasters now.
Yeah, hey, fuck it. You know, they're making a living. They're doing what they love. They're happy. That's what matters, bro. And you know, they feel like they're contributing. You know, so that's dope. So what's your music? What do you listen to, bro? Like, what's your favorite music right now? What are you listening to keep your vibes high? Who's like your favorite rappers? And then what like another genre or something? What are you listening to?
So for work, for like inspiration, I listen to like a lot of like Brain FM and some of that like trance music, some like a lot of the Avery stuff, which like I don't even know those artists, but they're just like, you know, they
like
make you
journey.
Totally. So I like listening to a lot of that for work. You know, the rap, like the Tupacs, the Snoop, the Lil Wayne. You know, the ASAP Rocky.
Tupac or
like,
Biggie?
Biggie. Oh, Tupac
yeah,
or Biggie?
Yeah.
I think Tupac. You know?
Oh man, that's a tough one for me. That's a tough one for me.
We're different coasts, you know.
So let's talk about what do you think is going to actually happen with the nightclub industry, right? Like,
Yeah.
And what's like a story? Because I know for me, bro, when I first started like really making money through entrepreneurship, I really was a fuckboy, like a playboy, whatever. And I was going and I would spend 5 G's. I got up to like at one point $15,000 in the club in my in my 20s, like mid 20s. Yeah. Like, and I look back and, you know, I don't regret it, to be honest. Like, because I learned, you know, now I haven't been to a club in forever. I haven't even drank alcohol in forever. As you know, I'm microdosing right now. But what do you think is going to happen when this quarantine ends? Are people going to like, do you think what's going to happen to the clubbing industry? You know, do you think people are going to go and club party? Like, what's going to happen with
big,
that?
Yeah, big challenges. That used to be my world before tech. I got sort of, I don't know, incubated, if you will, by a group called the Dolce Group, and they owned a very prominent nightclub called Ledoux. So I was 19, and I was like basically running ropes for one of the hottest clubs in LA. And I also was bit of a fuck boy, and I got to, I'm glad though, I'm grateful I got to experience that and get it out of my system and go through that sort of awkward phase of making your hair look real cool and the big collar, and, all that shit. So I think that that industry is going to have a very challenging time. Most people don't really know that restaurants and nightclubs, they were on life support before this. Between the litigation, the licensing costs, the build out fees, the Uber Eats is eating 30%. These were not that profitable, these companies and these establishments. And what COVID-19 has done is it basically took a lot of them completely off life support. The nightclub industry, especially, people are going to be scared to spend, but they're also going to be scared to be in groups. It's quite unlikely that the city of LA will even allow them to open till 2021. I mean, Garcetti's even saying that. Yeah. So you're going to see landlords and tenants in kind of a weird standoff where tenants are going to say, I'm not opening because I have to hire all my employees again in order to qualify for the full PPP money, but I can only open 40 to 50% capacity. And a nightclub can't just be half open. That's not how it works. You need it pop in to make money. They have high overhead. So we're going to see a new type of social dynamic long term. I actually think this is going to be a good thing for LA nightlife.
That's what I hope. I hope people actually really wake up, right? They stop. I think, obviously there's a lot of people that are at home drinking right now and still getting fucked up. And it's hopefully right now people are actually waking up and truly realizing to figure out all right, what do I want for my life? You know what I mean? And there's other ways to be able to feel good. I think people that are drinking and doing that, it's just because they're afraid of getting to the truth
totally
of their life, right? What about you, man? I mean, why do you think people drink alcohol?
I think that it's just another escapism. I think our generation is going to be drinking a lot less than the ones before. And everyone always felt this need for a social lubricant to just get fun and fucked up. And, I get it. I've been there. You've been there. I just don't think it works right now. I mean, it's actually alcohol is one of the worst things you could be doing in COVID-19 because of how it weakens your immune system. So it's smoking weed, you can do edibles, but smoking weed, bad for your lungs, and alcohol, terrible for your immune system if you're trying to stay healthy. So I just think it's always a bad thing. I'm Jewish, my family, my heritage and sort of genetic lineage, we aren't actually big drinkers. So I'm kind of grateful for that. Ashkenazi Jews, we don't like drinking. It doesn't respond well for us. So it's always been kind of easy for me to not ever get into it. But there's a lot more fun stuff, and there's a lot. If you need stuff to activate you, create creatively. There's a million other things.
Completely go the opposite way. Just go on an experiment. You guys see I'm on an experiment, right? So if you're drinking, how can you go the complete opposite? What's the exact opposite of drinking? Meditating.
Yeah.
Do something that you're no fucking way. Why not experiment? Who knows? Maybe you'll discover something about yourself. Maybe you'll think of that new idea. Start to really challenge yourself to think differently, to do things that are different. There's so many powerful things you could do, from cold showers to breath work to sound healing to meditation to all these really, really powerful modalities. So I challenge you to create an experiment of your own. I have a new experiment that's coming after this one. So I challenge you guys to tap into that. And really, guys, I was that guy. I drank a lot of alcohol. I got fucked up. And I don't like who Gerard was then. Gerard wasn't the Gerard I am now. I would get angry. I was running. I was numbing. I was escaping. I wasn't, people would say, Gerard, you're different. When I was off alcohol, I was this inspirational, motivational, driven, unbelievably this kind individual. With drinking, ego, right? Ego comes up. Ego came out. I think I'm better than people are. I've tried to fight. I've gotten into physical fights in clubs. So the truth is, alcohol, in my opinion, is something to just completely take away from. I think wine, I think differently about wine. But right now, to be sitting home and just taking freaking shots and getting fucked up, when you could be using this time as a sacred time, an opportunity to truly think about how you can come out of this prepared to take full advantage of the new economy and create profitability, impact, fucking like think about all that opportunity right now. So really think about how you can make this time sacred for yourself. Ben, question for you.
Yes.
How do you come up with new ideas and strategies for clients? And do you have like a system for that right now?
Yeah, so at the agency, we're very grateful and fortunate to have worked with hundreds and hundreds of clients over the years. We've probably done the workshop itself, you know, our discovery process over 1,000 times. So it's a very like systematic approach to developing and testing new ideas. The reality is you don't need to pay an agency to validate your ideas. ProductHunt.com has tons of really good resources. How to build and test an MVP. Really $500 budgets should allow you to build out your specs, build out your requirements, build a landing page, create an email opt-in, go drive some Facebook traffic. Right now, it's the cheapest time to be promoting Facebook ads. I know your ass is just excited as mine, where I'm like, I want to get my content to just push, because CPMs are record lows. So yeah, this is the best time to be taking ideas and putting it, you know, data driven. There's a lot of really good tools to also help you build out requirements.
Yeah.
The design sprint, Jake Knapp's book is great. We provide a lot of resources online too for free. So, you know, I like to try to do these things yourself. And then if you really need help, you can hire professionals. But
I'll add to that, guys, and then we'll take the next question here. But I'll just add, like, one of the things that you can do is not complicate things. Keep it stupid simple, and just do a brain dump and mind map your shit. Like, one of the best ways that I come up with ideas is I literally meditate, clear my energy, leave my phone in the other room, no notifications, no social media, no distractions, get a whiteboard, or if you want an iPad or even just a notebook, and then just fucking start freaking channeling. What is your vision? What do you want to create? Like, just create that space and that intention of like, I'm going to like just go into ideation and just start brain dumping by writing it out. For me, I love doing that on a whiteboard. If you have a friend, it's one of the best things you can do right now. You can do it on FaceTime. You can do it on Zoom. But like, yo, get a friend and be like, yo, you want to fucking jam? Do you want to mind map together? Like, totally. I'll support you through yours. You support me through mine. And like, boom, ask me questions. We'll meditate and just fucking start painting a picture of like, what the fuck is new? What's the vision of what you want to create? So that's just an idea that I have for you.
I think Miro.com is what we use for our boards. Stories on board, Miro for mind mapping and empathy mapping. But you're absolutely right. Grab somebody, hop on Zoom, Miro it up.
Fuck yeah. All right, so what was your aha moment as an entrepreneur? In other words, what clicked that made you take that path? Well, that's a dope question. Ben, what was your aha moment, man, and how old were you?
I would say, it's a great question. I would say the time where it really clicked, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. My dad taught me business starting at 8 years old. He had a flooring and carpeting company, and he taught me sales and just doing tons of sales calls when I was little. But I think the aha moment for me was I went to a very small school. I didn't have a lot of social access, you know, that a lot of the public schools did. And I wanted to start throwing parties to meet people. And I really wanted to start throwing parties to meet a girl. So I started, I was in my sophomore year, and I basically figured out how to assemble a team of sub promoters. We found a venue to basically give us the venue. At a venue buyout, they obviously wouldn't sell alcohol, just, you know, made $20,000, sold out 1,000 tickets. MTV approached us after that, wanting us to do a reality show on the whole team and everything we had set up. And it went from kind of this like thing to like, oh, I could probably look cool and meet a girl of my dreams thing, to a real business. And I took it very seriously, and I pimped out all the MySpace pages, and this is MySpace. I don't know if anyone even remembers that, but that's how we online advertising back then. And I think it was that moment where like it was all cash. It was a cash, you know, register, how we would sell tickets and door sales. And I brought it home, and I stick it in my soft drawer. My mom's doing my laundry, opens up all this. She freaks out. She's like, "You're selling drugs? What are you doing?" I'm like, "Mom, I'm running a legitimate business. These are tickets to a party." Like, and she was like, "What? Are you kidding me?" I think it was like around that time I said, okay, I think I need to stick to this. And I like this feeling of being independent and, you know, moved out at 18 and started my life.
That's cool. I'll share mine, guys, too. That's funny, Ben. That's awesome. I love how the girls are like, Think and Grow Rich. It's always about a girl. That's
Always. Same as Zuck.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. I feel you. Mine was a little different. Mine definitely wasn't about a girl. Mine was because I wanted it. Mine was because I saw someone that actually fucking made it. I was 18 years old. I didn't want to fail my parents. I got caught selling weed at 17. I was never a good student. I didn't get first string in sports. So I always felt like I was disappointing my parents. So when I went to my first semester in college, I said, like, fuck, I want to learn about business. Like, I want to make it. Like, I want to actually, like, I actually want to prove to my parents that, like, I could fucking do it. Like, you know, and I want to prove to myself that I can make it, be successful. So I asked my friends and my classmates, like, does anybody know anyone who's made it or understands business? And they were like, yeah, I know some kid that I went to school with. I can take you to meet him after class. So after class, and I went to Caldwell College. It was a community college in New Jersey. And after school that day, his name was Mark. Mark was this cool kid. He was like this party kid you can go out party with. And he takes me over to this guy's house in Wayne, New Jersey. And I remember pulling up to a 3-car garage, brick home, basketball court, in-ground pool. And I remember going through the backyard, up the deck, in the house. I see like spiral staircase, pool table room. I mean, rooms on rooms on rooms. And there's this kid who walks down the stairs that looks like he's in his young 20s. Kind of like a nerdy looking kid coming down. And he looks over at me, and I look over at him and I say, yo, what the hell do your parents do for a living? And he's like, this isn't my parents' house. This is my house. And that was my aha moment. That was it. It hit me. I was like, oh, holy shit, a young guy who's actually fucking hit it. Mansion? Like, what? Like, this is possible. That was my aha moment. In that moment, I knew it's possible. And whatever this kid is doing, it was my proof that entrepreneurship the internet game, I didn't even think it was entrepreneurship. I was like, is actually fucking real. Yeah. And I was like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to learn what this guy knew. And this guy was an expert at understanding storytelling, email marketing, PPC, which are pay-per-click ads, writing emails, and helping to tell stories of small cap publicly traded companies. And that was his niche. So I did everything from like get his coffee, food. I would help him print and send out faxes and emails and call CEOs to help him get leads. And I did everything I could every day after school to learn from his mentorship until I decided, fuck that, I'm dropping out and going all in on that. And that allowed me to, that changed my life. I became an entrepreneur I'm going on 18 years now. That story was 18 years ago.
I love it. So is my front face?
Is that a cause? You showing us your cause?
Oh shit! I don't know what happened. The camera went the other way.
Double tap your camera.
There we go.
All right.
So
we're coming up on time here. I guess we'll go with this one last question here, which is, what are your 3 top recommended books that you have, like, for skills to gain?
Oh, I got a lot. Okay, David Graeber, Debt the First 5,000. It's so important right now to understand the economy and currency and all the things that we were talking today about. Dave Asprey stuff is good. Game Changers, Ben Greenfield, Superhumans for like high performance. The Lean Startup is worth reading. The Jake Knapp Design interesting.
Nice.
Let me see what else I got. Yeah, that's a good one.
Cool. I would say, depending on who you are, where you're at in your journey, but my go-tos that I give to all my clients is the 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership.
Nice.
I like the book Traction, if you haven't read that. And I'll give you one that changed my life. It's a little more of a story book, but it's a really powerful story on entrepreneurship. It's one of my mentors. It's called Nothing to Lose, Everything to Gain by Ryan Blair, from gang member to multimillionaire. So those are 3. 0 to 1 if you want to throw like a startup one in there. But all right, bro. So, dude, thank you so much for jumping on.
Thanks for having me.
I loved it, man. We got to vibe. I can't wait to do some more with you. Like I've mentioned, man, I'm here to support you because we need leaders right now. And I love the fact. Every time I would see you, Ben, you would always treat me with just true kindness, man. You gave me the best merch in the game, bootstrap merch. So I appreciate you, homie.
Thank you.
And know that I'm on your path, like to help you on your leader's journey and sharing your story.
Let's see. Most of it.
I think we lost
Thank you, brother.
Right,
yeah,
bro.
we lost a little bit. All right. Thank you.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. I think I did the live early. I think we were supposed to go live now at 6 p.m. So my bad. I got a little ahead of myself, but I see a lot of you guys. So if you've been coming on my live streams every single day, drop a 1. Let me know. And do me a favor and comment on my last post. I like to see who are my like ride or die, like loyal fans, people that are genuinely about leaders create leaders. You're about my movement. You're about becoming a leader. You know, you genuinely are, you know, all about supporting, empowering what I call the mudita mindset, which is celebrating the success of others with joy. You know, like no envy, no ego. I really want you to know I appreciate those people so much. I appreciate my day ones. Comment on my last post so I can look at your pages, like some photos. And if there's anything I can ever do for you guys, just let me know. Email me. I have some really cool shit coming out right now. I've been in the lab, like straight up Da Vinci, building the greatest just process for you to really truly step into being the greatest leader that you can be right now in your business and in life. So I appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for that. If you want to join the movement, you want to join Leaders Create Leaders, be ready. Coming into May, there's going to be some really exciting opportunities coming out. And if you're a CEO, a world-class entrepreneur, you're someone who genuinely is ready to step into building your leadership brand business, then shoot me a DM with the word leaders and I'll give you an application. We'll see if there's a good fit and an alignment. We'll get on a call and there may be an opportunity for you to join me on my in my mastermind. So I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Enjoy the day. Leaders create leaders. Be the leader. Peace.